Parra. We are live, girl. We are live. Hello, family. How are you? How are you on this beautiful Thursday? It is gorgeous outside, and I hope that I am reaching each of you in the most highest regard in spirit, mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. I have an amazing guest for you tonight, but we're going to give you guys a few minutes to chime in. Come on. We need you. We need you in this dialogue. Join us. Tag a friend. Please do. My platform was created to inspire and to empower and to encourage you, but I can't do that if I don't have you 100% participating. But guess what? We don't want to keep this to ourselves. We want you to tag a friend. I don't care, one friend, two friends, you name it. Just tag a friend. Let's join the conversation. Let's have a great dialogue on this beautiful Thursday with the one and only Dr. Marie Roberts De La Parra. While we wait for people to join us, I'm going to do a couple of different things as I do on every broadcast, and that just makes sure that all of my signals are hitting and that everybody is on board. They're there, they're listening, they're chiming in. Make sure that we are actually going live on Facebook. Hold on one second. Sheryl Grant, what is going on? Hello. I see one person. Can you say hello? Can you say hello? That is my dear friend. Oh my God. John, you have to say hello. You can't just watch and be in silence. John is amazing. We have some great news we'll be announcing soon. I'm not going to do that right now. But John, please do. Can you hear us okay, John? Are we here? Can you hear us? And for everybody else who's joining in, hi, happy Thursday. I hope everybody's doing fabulous. Okay, wait a minute. Let me just do this. Listen, this is a feedback. See, I got to make sure my phone is off too, so that I'm not getting feedback here. You guys, I'm so excited to be talking with you today. I'm amazed. I just must say that I'm just amazed at the time. We're in the month of June. We're halfway the year. And it's like, oh my God, 2021 is halfway through. And I think a very short amount of time we're going to be able to walk about freely. That permission, I think it's going to be June 15th. That our leaders have established that as the date. Just make sure you still mask up. Take care of yourself. Just remember this. This is about taking care of you and your family and protecting you. Hello, Doc. Is it Dr. Insir Mathis? Am I saying it correctly? Welcome. So glad to have you. Come on, tag a friend. We're about to have and I'm so excited. We are going to be talking about things that matter to you. And thank you. I love your name, Dr. Insir Mathis. Dr. Insir. I love that. We have a doctor on board here that's talking to us today. Her name is Dr. Marie Roberts De La Parra. I'm going to introduce her in just a second. So first of all, guys, I'm just happy to be here. I see the eyes coming in. Come on in. Hey, girl, come on in. Hang with your conversation. Get some richness going here. Let's get some energy going here. Let's talk about things that matter to you. How can I empower you, inspire you, and educate you if you don't show up? I think that's virtually impossible. I don't use the word impossible too often, but that would be a word that I would use in this moment. So what that means is I need you, and I need you to grab a girlfriend. If a girlfriend, you had a good sale, wouldn't you go grab a girlfriend and take her to that sale with you? If you got a good movie, wouldn't you share that movie with your girl, or a good book, or a good glass of wine? This is that same opportunity. Let's share. This is about community. This is about us coming together. That's what I'm talking about, Dr. Insir. That's what I'm talking about. That's what do here on the Fit platform. I'm so excited. I'm not going to wait anymore. I will know everybody will be coming in as soon as they do. Thank you. Share to my Defining Moments group. That's what I'm talking about, Queen, because we're going to today. So I want to share with you first, just reintroducing the platform. For those of you who are new, welcome. I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to share with you some of the most amazing speakers and people that are doing great things in the world that I bring to you as a way to digitally mentor you, as a way to give you insights to something you may be going through that you're looking for an answer, and the books you're reading or something you're doing is not getting you the answer. Well, we do it here live on the Fit Live platform with real live individuals that are experiencing similar things like you, that can help you transcend steps so that you don't have to take those steps. You can skip some steps along the way. So this platform was primarily created because in my career, I didn't have a platform where I could go to see individuals that look like me. My products and services are not gender specific. They're not religion specific. They're not any of that. They're not color specific. I focus on Black women and women of color because we have not been given the opportunity to really showcase who we are, our brilliance, our just who we are, our effervescence as women. And I created a platform because I know we exist and I'm going to showcase it. So, they say if you see something that needs to be done, then you should take up the torch and go get it done. That's what I'm doing here with this platform, with these amazing individuals that I am bringing to you. So I started my company in 2006, believe it or not, but I was still halfway in corporate America and halfway out. In 2017, I decided to take the leap, and I've been doing it ever since. And I wouldn't change anything about what I do, why I do what I do. We are here on this platform to highlight both the journey and the success stories of professionals and entrepreneurs of color. We want to explore all the important and necessary information to help guide, inspire, and encourage all aspiring business owners and professionals of color. We plan to equip them with specific concrete examples, tools, tips, tricks to lead them toward their own success, not only in business, but in life. The question I ask every time, are you ready to get fit? FIT stands for faith, intuition, and tenacity. Faith is about the ability to believe in what you can't see. Intuition, learning how to trust yourself, and tenacity, just going to get it done. And today, without any hesitation, we're going to be going through a fit mentality. Are you mentally fit? I have brought to you today the best talent that is out there in terms of individuals that are out in the world truly, truly getting things done. And this individual that I have brought to you is beyond amazing. Dr. Marie Roberts De La Parra is an accomplished speaker, author, founder, consultant, and leadership expert with more than 25 years of success across finance, education, energy, sustainability, and nonprofit development and environmental matters, leveraging extensive expert knowledge in leadership, personal and professional development, education, business mentoring, and organizational design. She is an asset to establishments looking for a core culture evolution in diversity and inclusion, and a practice of environmental organizational awareness, which we all need. Innovative turnaround and governance of high performance after effects. I want to say to you that this individual, her expertise in entrepreneurship, emotional intelligence, powerfully filled people, self-regulation, personal power, and self-control, we couldn't have found anyone more qualified. I could go on about her extensive background, and she really does have one, and the credentials to match. But rather than do that, what I want to do is just dive into the conversation, because I think you can get more from that than me reading her bio. You can truly be able to experience her for yourself. I want to say, wherever you are, put down whatever you're holding and give this amazing queen a round of applause. Welcome to the Fit Live platform, Dr. Roberts De La Parra. How are you?
Well, thank you, Cheryl, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. And I want to say first to you, congratulations on having such a dynamic platform where you can showcase what women of color can do. So thank you for having me.
Yes, 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 yes. We need more of it, you guys. We need more of it because to me, this is where the essence where we start to connect the dots. We are living in such a time, and I know we're gonna talk to you and you're gonna share that it's not so much of what we do, but now is more important how we do it. And we have to be able to leverage each other. And I'm a firm believer in that when we come together, there are no obstacles that we cannot overcome. Together, we can do anything. We are very powerful individuals within our own right, but when we come together as a collective, there's no stopping us.
Absolutely.
I started off this conversation, and I want you to know that I am honored to be the first to interview Dr. Marie Roberts De La Parra. She just recently received her doctoral, and I'm just honored that you would give me this opportunity to showcase you on my platform. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's been almost 2 weeks since I, finished my degree. So I'm really excited, about sharing the work that I do and that I love to do. Now, one of the things that, I definitely want to say is that I've been doing the work for over 13 years. So just stepping into the space of being a doctor in the work is important to me because my work focuses in on thought, what you think about yourself and how thoughts drive everything that you do. So I do use the term that I'm the CTO, which is the Chief Thought Officer. So yes, that is what my work is in. So thank you so much.
Yes. So tell me, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? Hi, Dr. Rashida Jones. We got another doctor. But tell me, what are you passionate about?
Okay, my number one passion is to help other people elevate who they are and what they can do and what they can achieve. That to me is not only what I'm passionate about, it is like my mission, my purpose in life. And so that is what, I engage in on all levels. How do you and maximize you? Because one of the things that I say is that do you and be extraordinary at it because nobody can beat you at that. So that is what I am passionate about. How do you do that?
I love that. I love all of that. So if you guys if you don't have a pen, please grab one. If you don't have a notepad, please grab one. I keep at least a sticky note, something beside you, because the information, the jewels and the wisdom that comes out so effortless that I need you to capture it down. So this becomes a workshop in action, not something that you got to think about, and then start to apply some of the things that she's going to share with us today. Can I ask you, tell me a little bit about you and your journey and how you came to decide to go get your doctorate. Why did you decide to go get a doctorate? Why did you deem that to be your next step?
Well, I will say that first, I knew at 5 years old what it is that I wanted to be. And that was to be a mermaid. Yes, that was what I wanted to be at 5. And I thought for sure that if I worked really hard, that I could achieve that goal. It took a moment for me to understand that that was not possible and that mermaids were not real. So I had to go on another track. And so what happened was, actually when I was 5, my father became ill, and he was ill from sarcoidosis, which is an airborne, man-made environmental contamination. And so for many years, people did not know what the ailment was. And so by the age of 22, my father passed away. And so that was part of the segue into, not only becoming heavily engaged in the environmental arena, but it became the stepping stone. So, my father's journey and my journey with him elevated my knowledge in what contamination can do to a community. And so it wasn't that I just wanted to focus on, the factors of the environment, but also how does a community sustain itself? So that led me into not only environmental work, but environmental construction, which then led me into developing a nonprofit. So those segues were just stepping stones. And so at one point, because I wanted to learn more about myself, because a catalyst came along that sent me on this journey, which was my own child, who told me that I don't like you and I no longer want to have a relationship with you. Wow. And I was floored by those words, because at first I was upset about it. And then I said, how could this child think this about me when I thought that I was doing everything that I was supposed to do? But what I realized, after going and taking myself through a process of, understanding, how do I gain self-knowledge about what type of experience was I creating, not only for myself, but for my child and other people that are affected. And so that is what opened the door for me to decide that not only did I need to step into a space, I needed to go and get the knowledge about, how I could learn more about myself. So that was the tipping point for me to do self-work that led me into, finally obtaining my doctorate. So it was quite the journey of self-knowledge.
Right. Well, one of the things that you speak of there, and that's what I mean by, guys, please, and women, to make sure you're taking notes, is that you said it was a tipping point, but something happened that triggered something in you, and you could have either one regressed and did nothing, right? Or you could step out on faith, and this is where my fit mentality comes in, faith, intuition. There was a belief that you knew you could do better. And you trusted the voice inside of you to say, she said that she doesn't like me, but I need to understand, what am I doing to trigger that in her, versus blaming her for the comment that she made. That's brilliant, because so often we are faced with a problem and we become sucked into the problem versus looking at the problem as an opportunity for us to grow. So hats off to you. Hats off to you on this discovery. What did you learn?
Well, one of the things is that was really critical was that I wasn't just having the moment with my child. I realized I was having the moment with my father, because my child was 22 when I was told this, and I was 22 when my father passed away. And when my father passed away, some of the last words because he died suddenly, and I was angry at him, and I told him that I hated him. And so I carried that, and I carried it into every relationship that I had, every business deal that I had, and especially into the relationship that I was having with my own child. And that anger just showed up in ways that I was not even aware of. And so that is one of the major things that I learned about that. That was it took me through a full circle moment of healing. And that's what it did.
Yes. Wow. Do you guys hear that? I mean, I'm so touched by it. I mean, my eyes just watered up, because I think that we are given every day an opportunity to grow. And it's so easy for us to not take ownership and to always look at somebody else as being the problem, or looking at outside of ourselves as being the problem, and always looking outside of ourselves to try to fix the problem. Very seldom do we really stop and say, how can I change? We want the other person to change, but very seldom do we look at ourselves. And the fact that you experience this with your father at 22, you're now having this epiphany where you're doing it with your daughter, but it was enough to make you stop and recalibrate and ask yourself some important questions. on your way to this healing, because I can definitely see the journey, and you and I have had some side conversations, so I have a little bit of a privy to the story. Can you just explain to me how the self-discovery, when you really started to opening up and becoming whom it is that you know you were born to be, and breaking the cycle of self-sabotage?
Yes.
Self-sabotage. How? And if you guys aren't listening right now, I'm going to tell you, you should be. Because a lot of us are doing a lot of self-sabotaging. We're listening to the world, or we're making everything. We're not willing to do the work. If you don't do the work, you won't get the results, no matter what you're doing. Fitness, working out, eating, going back to school, you're being a top performer in your job. If you don't do the work, then you're not going to get the results. Please.
Yes, what I can really say is that self-knowledge is one of the most critical things that we many times take for granted, and just really understanding the importance of, who you are, what value you bring to the table, and the energy that you create, and taking responsibility for that. Because the number one thing that I had to do was to take the responsibility for this. And so one of the things also that it allowed me to identify was not only what I was doing, but the intuition to understand what other people were doing. Because most people are saying, you are making me upset. You are making me angry. I don't like, how you are making me feel, which is also saying that you are not in control of you. They are. And so every time you say that, you are admitting not only to yourself, but the universe, that you are not in self-control, that you have no ability to self-regulate, that you do not understand the actions that you take, the words that you speak, what you think about, because my work focuses on how do you align your thoughts, words, and actions so that you can predict the outcome. And so without understanding those things, it's impossible. And so self-knowledge empowers you to do that. And the more of that you gain, the more awareness that you have about what you can achieve, because that's what your program is about as well. Fit. How do you achieve? Do you understand that? And the more knowledge you have about yourself, the more that you can create, the more that you can take on, the more you can understand not only about yourself, because when you understand yourself first, that empowers you to understand what other people are doing. It is a process of communication.
Oh my God. I'm sitting here. I don't know about the audience, but I am just sitting here feeling a sense of overwhelm. I'm not overwhelmed. What I would say, emotional. And a part of it is because you're hitting triggers even for myself. And even as we are most accomplished, I'm a firm believer that although I am a coach, and all coaches need coaches too, we all have blinders where we stop seeing ourselves. And I want to say to you right now, if you are at a position in your life where you're not getting the results that you want in your life, sometimes you have to not look at your situation outside of you. You got to look at you. You got to look at yourself. You got to understand self. And one of the things I love that you said is align your thoughts, your words, and your actions, because they really do. What you think is a lot about what you speak.
Yes.
What you speak will lead to how you act. So I'm a firm believer in all of that. So you went on this journey to really uncover your anger and your issues that you have with your father so that you can mend this amazing relationship with your daughter. Can you explain some of the things that you had to go through? Because I can imagine there were points, and please tell me, and if I'm wrong, I'm so open to it. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I ever have epiphanies where sometimes, I don't know about anybody else, but have you ever just crawled up on the couch and just wanted to cry and just wanted to, like, God, maybe I'm the crazy one, right? I can't heal me. What did you do in those instances, or did you ever have that?
Oh, I can tell you, immediately after my child said this to me, I cried. I cried about not only the words that were spoken to me, I cried about, I didn't know what to do. I cried, and I said, God, please help me because I don't understand this. And what ended up happening at some point during the journey, that I realized that I didn't have enough self love, that I did not look at myself in the mirror. And without the ability to look in the mirror, you don't really get to see who it is that you are. And you are only thinking about what you think that you are. Because it's important to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and to recognize what you don't like about yourself. Because most people are looking in the mirror and they're looking to see all that is wrong. I don't like the way my skin looks. I don't like the way my teeth look. Oh, I look too old. I'm too fat. All of those things, which also derives negative thinking, that creates that type of energy as well. And so when I did look in the mirror, I was constantly picking apart, what I thought I was, who I was, how much I didn't really like myself. And I didn't really understand that I had really spent all of my time, doing that. Because one of the things that I learned is that I had absorbed other people's words about me. So one of the key things, which, I'm sure there are people out there that have heard this, I was always called light, bright, almost white. And so those things really affected my confidence, my self-esteem. And so even though I would laugh about it with other people, that it was like sticking needles, in me. And so when I would look in the mirror, that I would disapprove of who I was. And I recognized those weren't my words. I was owning somebody else's words. But this was the critical thing that I understood about that. They were only saying that to me because that is how they felt about themselves. Because when you are kind, you speak kindness to other people. And so that is what I understood. Oh, they weren't really talking about me. They were talking about themselves. And so that allowed me to start to understand, how do you take your power? What is power? Which I use the term your personal power. How do you own it? How do you yield it wisely? How do you use it effectively? So these are the things that were coming out of the work that I was doing on myself. And it allowed me to recognize how many times that people were inflicting pain, heartache,
Yes,
upon themselves, mental duress, and all of that was derived from the thoughts, which is why I've really focused in on, what you think. And I'm going to, quote James Allen. He wrote in 1906, in As a Man Thinketh, you will fall, remain, or rise in your thinking. And so that is really what it really is about. Everything that you think really predicts the outcome of how you are going to achieve or not. And so most people really do not understand that. And that's what my work is about.
wow. As a man thinketh, you will either rise or fall.
You will rise, remain, or fall.
Rise, remain, or fall, people. Rise, remain, or fall. Well, we're in the rising business. That's what we're
Yes.
to do it fit. We want to get people mentally fit. We want to teach you. And I think one of the lessons, I mean, most valuable one, and we hear it all the time, but it truly is something that deserves repeating as often and as necessary as possible. And that is, your power is within. Your power is within you. It really is. And I know a lot of times we don't believe it. Sometimes we second guess it. And life has a way of showing up to help us not believe in ourselves. And if we hook onto that train, we'll continue the patterns that keep us stuck. And this is all about getting unstuck. So we have to unmarry ourselves to those processes by starting to work on ourselves. So one of the first things, what did you do in your discovery? How did you, I need some anecdotal, like what did you do? What did you do? Started working on yourself. Give me something specific, because I need to go start doing it today. Dude, what?
Well, you know what? I will share with you a key moment that happened that was really important for me to understand. And this was during the housing crisis in 2008, because I lost not only my primary residence, but all of my assets. And so, and one of the things that I did not understand was that, and I learned this as part of my work, that my self-worth was not my net worth. And so, because I did associate that my money was about, who I was, and that was also associated with having power. And so, and one of the critical things that I learned and that I teach my clients is that if you think that anything that is external to you is your power, then you really have none. Because as you mentioned before, it is internal. You carry your power with you wherever you go. Because if you lose your money, you lose your assets, and you think that your power is gone, then your worth has gone away with it. And so that is the difference. Understanding that real power is internal power. It is nothing external to you. And most people really do not grasp that. They think the more money I have, the more assets, the more recognition I have. And it has absolutely zero. Because that is how you understand people that have risen from zero wealth to high wealth, is because they have personal power. They believe internally, I can achieve. Because that is how you go from zero to billion to $billion worth. But it has nothing to do with your self-worth. Your self-worth is already there, and understanding that is where your power is.
Oh my God, did you guys get that? Did you get that? I'm starting walking around with a different attitude, y'all. I'm gonna show up to these split lies with a different attitude. So here goes. Oh my God, that's a power. So first of all, I need you guys to ask questions. This is not meant to be, my platform is not about just Dr. Marie Roberts De La Parra and I speaking. It's about you engaging in conversation. If you have questions, ask. Please ask questions. Let's get into a dialogue so she can answer your specific questions and she can empower you with something that you may be going through. This is an opportunity. And whatever question you have, there are no dumb questions. Whatever question you have, I guarantee tell you somebody watching it now or later will have that same question. So please don't hesitate. So what would you say? I don't even know. Like, I want to ask you so much. I really do. In terms of your journey. Okay, here's what I want to ask you while we're waiting on questions to come in. At your lowest point, whenever you was at your lowest point, can you briefly describe it and specifically what you did to overcome it?
At my lowest point, I was extremely depressed. I really could not figure out or see a way that I could resolve the issue with my daughter. I really could not understand that. And one of the things I did, I mentioned that I prayed, about what should I do. And one of the things that I learned to do and that I started practicing almost immediately was writing down what it is that I found to be not happening the way that I thought in my life. And I will give you an example. I thought that I was having, positive communication with my child. I started to write down the words that I was speaking to my child, not about, because I was always positive when I was talking about my child, but talking to my child, I recognized that I wasn't, because I was also using that same language internally about myself. And so it allowed me to see in black and white the words that I was speaking. And then what I thought about the words that I was speaking. Because as I told you, thoughts, words, and actions. And so just seeing that on paper and how much of a difference that they were, the way that I thought about my child was not the way that I talked to my child. And so figuring out how do you align that, but writing those things down, because it gives you clarity about what it is that you are actually doing, saying, and thinking. So that was one of the key things, that I recommend doing, writing it down, because when it's in black and white, you can't lie to yourself about, well, this is what, because we can't get into a practice very easily of saying, well, this is what I said to you, but that really isn't the reality of what you said, what the intent was, because words have an intent. And so recognizing what is the intent behind those words, those things really matter. Because if you don't understand and how those things correlate, because thoughts do one thing, words do another, and the actions, and aligning those, it takes practice. You have to understand what it is that you are thinking, saying, and doing about a thing. And if you don't write it down, you can't get clarity on it. So I started writing it down.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow. That right there is so powerful. One of the things you just said was that how you thought about her was not how you talked to her.
Yes.
That fundamental distinction was huge and can open the door for so many of us in our lives. When we're up against a wall and you can't figure it out for yourself, and a lot of it is in your head, you got to get it out. And she said something so powerful, writing it out on a piece of paper. How often do we take time? One of the things I think that we as a human race don't do enough of, and that's thinking.
Yes,
we think about stuff, but not in a way that's productive to our well-being. If you were able to capture your thoughts, what you say to yourself when nobody else is there, and you were just, every time you said it, you wrote it out, I think you would be amazed at the negativity that you truly do say to yourself. So that was very powerful for me. Thank you for that.
It becomes very illuminating. Yes.
No, because I will definitely use that even as I begin to communicate with my grown sons, and not thinking that I'm the mommy and I always say the right things, right? No, and really being more aware. And I think that definitely lies there. So, oh my God, everything that you're saying is so amazing. And I'm waiting for questions. People, please chime in, tag a friend, call somebody. This information can really transform somebody's life. I'm here to uplift and empower, but if they're not here, I can't do that. If they don't know about it, I can't do that. Go ahead, share the link with a friend, call somebody, tag somebody, and have them join in this amazing conversation. So now you are on this journey and you've been doing this amazing work, right? And so what led you to your doctoral program?
Well, my doctoral program came about more because I really wanted to take a deep dive into understanding myself. And I wanted to be able to do it in a way that I could gain more foundational knowledge on how people were really disengaging from themselves. And so working on myself, this is one thing. Working with clients, that's another thing. But bringing it into the academic, the research format, that's a whole different level of understanding, because you go into a deep dive of, not only but doing the research on people, because it creates a whole different formula of how people are communicating, not only with themselves, but with others, their emotional intelligence, and just the lack of self-awareness. Because most people are so busy, especially in the United States, working from moment to moment. And as especially women, we tend to put ourselves last on the list, work, the children, their activities, you got to cook, whatever it is that, you're doing, and then the work that you're taking home. All of those things, and then we put ourselves last on the list, and then there's no time to gain self-knowledge. There's no time to gain self-information. That is really vital for you to achieve in all of those aspects. One of the things that I will share with you that people love to do and they love to talk about when they come to me is, I want to have more management of my time. And I tell people, there is no such thing as time management. There's only self-management. You learn to manage you, then you have the power to do anything. And so because when you put an item on a list, a task that you need to do, time keeps moving. So if you don't get it done, you're not controlling the time. So that is a huge difference. It's a distinction between what you can control, because time can never be controlled. You can control you. That is really the only thing in life that you can control. And most people are spending their day trying to control all of the other elements that are not critical to them achieving in life, let alone in career, education, or whatever it is they choose to do.
Oh my God, Dr. Marie Roberts De La Parra, you are amazing. The knowledge that you're sharing are very practical tools that can help anybody who finds themselves in a quagmire. You find yourself in an awkward position and you really want to break those cycles. One of the things that I talk about, especially for us as women, and then triple for that as Black women or women of color, is our ability to overcome some of these systemic racial systems that are out there that are set up against us. But when I have this dialogue with you, the importance of those that still need to be addressed. But my power, I feel more empowered that I don't have to wait for the world to fix those systems. I can start right now with me. And in fixing me, I can break those systems for myself. And I believe that because I'm not up against the system, I'm up against myself. What do I want? What is it that I'm aiming to achieve? What are my goals and who am I aligning myself with to get there? And not aligning myself with the negativity of the world that keeps telling me that you can't do it. You're not worthy to do it. You're not capable of doing it. They're not going to let you do it. They're not going to give you this, because then we repeat that and that becomes our psychology, right?
Yeah.
Psychology. I'm here to say, let's rewrite our story, people. Let's rewrite it. Let's rewrite it right now in this moment. How do we do that? By getting empowered. Oh my God, this is so amazing.
One of the things that I would like to include is the power of self-belief, because that is what creates the high achiever. It is not only the opportunity, but it is the belief about what it is that you can do once you get there. Because if you don't have the self-belief, the self-efficacy, you cannot perform in that environment. Because as you said, as a woman, as a person of color, as a Black woman, you have more obstacles that are put in front of you. And if you do not have the self-belief to be there, you will not self-sustain. And it is critical to have that knowledge of beyond whatever obstacle is put before you. Because I teach the practice of the obstacle, real or perceived, is only there to teach you and to teach you to get higher and higher. It is not to drag you down. So you have to learn strategically how to maneuver, and you maneuver in thought. That's what you do.
Woo, girl, you're hired. You are hired.
But thank you. I appreciate that.
You are hired, because I too believe everything that you said. And I'm just of this mindset right now. We really do have an opportunity right now. We're at this critical point in life where our country and our world is either going to go to the right or it's going to go to the left. And I just say to you, what side are you going to be on? And that side should be your side. And when I say your side, I mean you, me, be on your side. And your side is to thine own self, be true. Start with you. the world, you can't hold anybody else accountable. I love what you said, Dr. Parr. There's no such thing as time management. You can't control time, but you can control you. And the one thing that we invest on, like we invest looking good, we get our hair done, we get our makeup done, nails done. Are you investing here?
Yes.
Do you have a coach? Do you spend money on making sure that your thinking is right? Or do you just look good? And it's okay to look good. I'm okay with looking good all day long. I'm okay with that. But I'm also committed to knowledge and knowledge of self, not any knowledge, knowledge of me. How do I make me the best me I could possibly be? How do I show up here every day for you and give you 150%? And the one thing that you were talking about, and I'd love for you to expand upon, is that I'm a firm believer. I can't tell you guys to get mentally fit if I'm not doing the work. It just doesn't work that way. I can't show up here. The authenticity, you would be able to read it. You would be able to see in my actions. Am I growing? Am I prospering by what I'm speaking, by telling you to be mentally fit? Faith, intuition, and tenacity. I got to practice it. And I can tell you this, every day I'm tested. Every single day I'm tested. Yes. Not everybody believes in Sheryl Grant. I believe in Sheryl Grant. It has to start with me. Isn't that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, one of the things, I wrote a book, 50 Tips for Increasing Your Personal Power. And in there, I wrote about, which they're tips, they're just quotes about things that you can typically do. One of them that is your mind is your most powerful tool. Fine-tune it every day. And I work on my mind every day. I take practice, on it. I understand what I'm thinking about. Those things are really, important to understand how to create more dynamic living, how to show up and be the influencer that you want to be, not only for other people, but in your own life. You have to first influence yourself before you can think about influencing somebody else. And so if you don't have self-influence, which is your sway, your power, you can't give any away to somebody else. And so those things are really critical in understanding how to be self-empowered. It is really critical to understand and gain self-knowledge. Now, one of the things that people tend to do, they get a new toy, a new, iPhone, the Android, the computer, whatever. They want to read all about it. They want to learn how it operates and all those things. But we as individuals tend to not take the same time to learn about how to do you. That is what makes you your most powerful. Understand that. Put that same energy into learning about whatever new toy you have invested in. Invest that same time and worth into yourself, because none of that operates without you understanding the know-how. So do you the same way that you would another tool.
Did you just hear her say do you? But the thing about it is, we don't. We spend so much time. Start to monitor your time. How much time do you spend on social media? How much time? Just on a week. Just write it down. How much time do you spend watching television? How much time do you spend doing various things? And then write, how much time do you really spend on yourself and knowledge of self? How much time do you spend being quiet? Do you meditate? Do you pray? Do you go internal to you? Do you have practices? Do you have people around you that will remind you? Do you have that in your circle? If not, I'm going to tell you, Dr. Marie Roberts De La Parra is for hire. She's a coach.
Yes, I am.
I'm hiring her. She hired, because even coaches need coaches to help them see their blind spots. And I can't say that enough. Invest in yourself. When you go invest in that Louis bag, you're not investing in you. That's your gift to you, but you just gave your money to Louis Vuittons.
Yes.
Your money just went, your investment was to Louis Vuittons. Take that same energy. Go ahead and get that bag, but be willing to give yourself that same amount in education and knowledge. Spend time on platforms like this. This isn't for foo-foo. I mean, this is here to help educate and inspire you. I have a goal, Dr. Marie Roberts De La Parra. I say her whole name because I love saying it. But I have a goal this year. My goal is to reach 50 million women. And people say, well, why do you want to reach 50 million women? Because I want them to do you. I want them to do themselves in the most audacious way. I want us to rise to the top without asking for permission, period.
Yes.
Unapologetically. And the only way that I could do it is if you come and you support the work. Support the work. And what is the work? The work is to help you. And I bring different variety because we're not all the same. We all have different needs. But the basic core is everything that you're talking about. Everything that you're talking about. Oh my God. I need to have you back. I need you to do a master class, girl. I need you to do a whole master class. Are there any questions? Everybody out there, you living, you doing you? You are all there. Do you have any questions? This is your opportunity to get engaged, to ask. Like I'm going through this. So let me say this to you, Doctor. Tell me what you would recommend to someone who is struggling during this pandemic period and coming out of. And, you know, the world wants us to go back to work, but we're not going back to work for pennies. I mean, it's better to have something than to have nothing. I get that. But do you have recommendations in terms of empowering people in their mental process to be their most amazing self and understand how they can take those stones and steps when it just really looks dismal? Right now, you don't have a job. You don't have the money coming in. You're thankful for the stimulus checks or whatever grants you may be getting, but it's not enough to really get you to the next level. And you're just frustrated. You're knocking on doors. Nobody's answering. You're calling people. Nobody's supporting you. Any advice for those individuals?
You know, one thing that I'd like to share is that there are at least 18% of 18-year-olds that are currently suffering from stress and anxiety about what's going on. That's just at 18 years of age. And so the numbers increase when you show the whole population. And so stress, anxiety, and fear is real and it's happening right now. And so one of the things that I can definitely say, it is really important to not only meditate, as you mentioned, but to also really understand with the economy. You need to start really writing out what it is that you are skilled at, what it is that you want to be skilled at, and look for those opportunities. Now is really a time to create what it is you want to achieve, to create what it is that doesn't exist, because problems, they create opportunities. And so this is what this is about. You know, if you look at it only about the stress, the anxiety, the fear, the money that you don't have, that is really going to create more issues for you, bring you more stress, more duress. And I understand that we all need money and resources to live upon. But it really is a unique opportunity for you to really think about, because we've spent so much time, you know, in our homes, in our environments, learning so much about what is needed. Now, you have been given individually the gift to create something, and you can have the opportunity to develop that. And it takes time and effort, because each one of the things that I stepped into, for me, it didn't have a roadmap. There wasn't, you know, anyone there to tell me, you know, this is how you do it. Now I have a number of degrees, licenses. You know, I didn't step into the environmental arena just saying, you know, my father had an illness. My father passed away. That was heartbreaking. And for me, it was such an emotional trauma, which people are experiencing right now. And out of that, I ended up going into getting a general contractor's license, a landscape license, an environmental, you know, doing engineering work within that field. That led me into an appointment from the Obama administration to the Environmental Protection Agency. So, and I'm sharing that because it is important to see that something, loss, fear, anxiety, and stress, which is all that I felt, led me into, because it was a process of, I can learn how to do this. I can understand, how to create something. And individually, we have been blessed with ideas that we don't work through to invent, to create, to expand, to help other people. Because my belief is that that is why we are here, to elevate, to lift the people up. And so those ideas come to you when you are at your worst moments in life. They don't come to you when you are feeling joyous and excited and all of that. They come to you when you are down and low, but you don't think that it means anything. It is a gift, and we should each recognize. I'm recommending that you recognize those thoughts that you think, they are there for a purpose. They can empower you to create change, not only for yourself, but all the people that you love caring about, and even people that you might not ever know.
Oh my God. All I can say is Dr. Marie Roberts De La Parra. First of all, I have a couple of things that I want to ask, and I want you to think about them because I'm going to be making some announcements. And then after my announcements, I'll ask you again and you can address it. Let us know how we can support you. So hold that thought. Don't answer it just yet. I just want to say to everybody, was this not amazing? I told you it would be, and it always is. We have some of the most amazing people in this world that are Black and of color and otherwise. But my platform is really showcasing them and giving them an opportunity that the world just doesn't want to give them. So it's okay. Sheryl Grant created that. We got that now. And I'm really asking everybody, I am on a mission. My goal is to reach 50 million women. I can't do it by myself. I am in need of your support. How can you support me? If you belong to a women's organization and you are affiliated with them, I would love for you to join me on this journey. And you can reach out to me at admin. I'm going to put this in the notes. And let me know, and we would love to partner with you as we go for this goal. And it is an audacious goal, but I'm very confident that I can make it. The other way that you can help me is by liking me on Instagram. I know it's a small thing, but it means everything to me as an entrepreneur, and that costs you nothing. If you could encourage your friends and your network to follow me, that would mean the world to me. You can also follow me on, I'm currently broadcasting on YouTube as well. We are about to embark upon a journey. We're about to do a challenge. And if you guys missed my gift box for Mother's Day, I just want you to know, hey, Kimberly Andrews, thank you for chiming in, and thank you for that. I want you to know we're about to do a fit challenge. And this, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter, if you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced. We have a workout program for you. This is about us coming together as a community. And I'm also about to embark upon my birthday in December. So this is my road. So every month, between now and then, we'll be coming out with these challenges. And I really want to encourage you to join us. You can also join in advance or you can stay. I can't give you the details because my team and I are working them out as we speak. But you can sign up on my website now so that when we do launch the challenge, you will be one of the first to participate. Okay, I left the W out there. I'm typing and talking at the same time, but it's www.SherylGrant.com/challenge. So please do log on to that. We're excited. Next week, we're going to have another amazing speaker. So please do chime in. We're here every Thursday at 5:00 p.m. We're also looking for sponsors. If you know of individuals out there that would like to sponsor this amazing platform, let me know. And I have been reaching out to some of my corporate sponsors, and I have great report, a lot of interest. So we're looking forward to that too. So without further ado, I want to circle back to you and say, how can we support you?
Well, I would love it if people connected with me on LinkedIn at MarieRobertsDelaParra.com. You can email, or you can contact me on LinkedIn, Twitter, and they're each my name, Marie Roberts De La Parra, and on Instagram as well. So like me on those, follow me, ask me a question. I would love to connect with you on any of those platforms. That would make me really happy, excited. I love posting information on there and sharing ideas and communicating with my audience and creating opportunities for them. Sometimes I post videos, so any of those things I would love. So please send me a message somewhere and connect with me.
Okay, contact her on all social media platforms at Maria De La Parra. So whether it be LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all of those. How do they get your book?
Oh, the book is available. Thank you for asking that, on Amazon. Yeah. So just 50 Tips for Increasing Your Personal Power by Marie Roberts De La Parra. Yes.
Okay, so please do support her by getting her book. If you could, in parting, leave my audience with one tip, what would that be?
I would say the best tip that I can give is to empower yourself as much as possible with how you can maximize what you do, empower your communication. And through giving yourself self-love, that is the best power, because you have to have self-love in order to give love away. You can't give away something that you first don't give to yourself. That is really my philosophy. A lot of people talk about, giving away love, but you have to have it first for yourself. It's just like with money. You don't have it, you have none to give away. So that is really, I think, the most important gift you can give to yourself, self-love.
The thing I want to say to you, I love what I do, and I'm so thankful to the universe for this amazing opportunity to showcase all this amazing talent like yourself. The thing that I like the least is it seems like the time just flies. Like it just flies. I want to say to everybody who's out there listening, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening and adapting and applying the techniques, tips, and tricks that she has shared with you. Knowledge is only as good as you use it. They said knowledge is power. Well, knowledge is power only when you use it. So apply what's been told today. If you're hitting a wall, a brick wall, you just got insight on how to break that barrier. You just got it. And that's empowering yourself in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Align them and you will go far. I want to thank you, Dr. Marie Roberts. This was so amazing. And I said, you're hired. You are hired. You were amazing. And I want to thank you again for trusting me. And you guys, you will be hearing from her because I really did hire her. I really did.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I loved every moment of it. It was such a thrill, and I appreciate and love you.
Thank you, and I love you too. Have a fabulous week. Until next week, guys. We'll see ya. God bless.